Hey everybody, this is Troy with Kully Supply, here today to talk to you about the Green Spring Cartridge Regulator, part number 102539. This cartridge here is a very common part in Elkay and Halsey Taylor drinking fountains. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today. There's a couple different functions of this and a couple different situations and holders where you're going to find this. So I'm just going to give you a little overview, talk through everything you need to know about this Green Spring cartridge. This cartridge has two purposes. One, it works as the on-off valve, and also it works as the regulator valve. So when this is in the housing, when it's in its valve housing, however you want to say it, there is some sort of mechanism that will push on this. Usually it's the push bar, presses against some linkages and mechanism that pushes on this. And so if you can really see, it doesn't move much, but just a little bit of movement is what actuates the valve. So in its normal resting state, it's off, stopping water flow. When you press it, it's on and it lets water flow. So that's the on-off portion of this. And then this is the regulator part. So in the top here, there's a slot for a straight blade screwdriver to go in. And if you turn that clockwise, it increases the water height of the stream coming out of your bubbler. And if you turn this counterclockwise, it will decrease the height of the water that comes out of your bubbler. The bottom of here, you've got, this is kind of like the water inlet and outlet. These little prongs stick out, and there's this gasket around here, this black rubber gasket. So it's kind of molded into the cartridge, but it can come out. So when you're taking your old cartridge out of the housing, you want to make sure that the old gasket came out. Otherwise, you'll have two gaskets in there, and it's not going to work. You also notice that these are offset. They're not straight across from each other. That's important that this only fits one way inside of the valve. So I'll show you when that goes in here. It's foolproof. You can't get it in the wrong way. It has to line up in order for the valve to fit into the housing. It's also got the green spring. It's referred to as the green spring. What that does here is the tension that springs this back to the closed position. There's also a red spring, and there's also one that you don't see a spring on it. Those are for different applications. They're all interchangeable. They all fit. They'll generally work in place of each other. But this green spring is if there's push bars. The red spring is if there's a push button, or the no spring is if there's a solenoid. This also works if there's a solenoid as just a regulator, and I'll tell you how that works too. That's the cartridge itself, and I'll show you how it fits into the housing. So very standard housing we've got here. There's a retaining nut that holds this down. See, it's got a bunch of holes in it. So use a wrench like this. It's called a spanner wrench. We sell these. Or maybe a needle nose pliers or a couple screwdrivers. You could MacGyver something to get in there and get this loose. So it's usually pretty tight. Just want to go ahead, break it loose with the wrench, and then loosen this nut. The nut comes off, and then the housing stays. The cartridge pops right out of it. So inside of this housing, there's two holes. Line up with those two prongs. You can see it's going to have to line up for it to go in there right. So if you put it in wrong, it's not going to fit right. Turn it, and it kind of clicks down into place. That's how you know it's in the right spot. There's an in line labeled on here, and then there's obviously the out line. So if you wanted to replace this, you would just take the cartridge out, put your new cartridge in, put the nut on here. I like to get it started by hand so it's nice and straight. It only takes about 3/4 of a turn, not even quite a full turn, to get this in there. Get it nice and tight so you don't have any leaks, and that one's ready to go back into service. This one has a hold open nut, so it's a similar concept. You've got the housing here, you've got the in, you've got the out. On this one, this nut, it's called the hold open nut because it holds this closed. I'm not sure why it's called the hold open nut when it holds it closed, but that's what it does. So the pressure of this nut pushes this down and holds the valve in the on position. So same thing, to take this loose, you can use this tool, fits in those prongs. You can also, on these flats here, you can use a pliers or wrench, or you loosen this one up. So same thing, just about a half turn or a turn, take that loose, cartridge comes out. Now the housing looks just the same. These housings are actually the same between these two, it's just the nut that makes the difference. So to reinstall this, you put it on here, you want to get that snugged up, tighten it up with your wrench, and that's ready to go back into the drinking fountain for service. Since I've got these out here, just talk a little bit about these water connectors here. They're a push-in type fitting, so if you push the pipe in, it locks it tight. And in order to remove the pipe from the fitting, you need to push down on the gray fittings here, and that should release the pipe that you can pull it out. Anyway, there it is. That is part number 102539 from KullySupply.com, the Elkay Green Spring Cartridge Regulator. Please like or share this video if you found it helpful. And to receive more helpful videos from Kully Supply, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.